Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to another match day. And yes, whatever happens, this will always be our football club, no matter who's in charge. Currently, it's Paul Lambert, and Lambert lottery ball is back in place today. Will 3 points be the result, or will it be the heave-ho? Who knows? As always, you can get involved in the show in the live chat. We do have the super chat available on YouTube. I think it's a small donation. You can have your comment pinned, starred. I don't actually know. I've never actually seen it in operation. So if somebody's feeling brave, go for it. I don't know what will happen either. We might just all take off. I don't know. Before we go too further and welcome in my two wonderful contributors, let's get a couple of your comments on the screen. Welcome in Stuart. Welcome in Leah. I hope you're all well. Matthew, I would take a point now. Mick McCarthy, take a point, and I'd be happy with a point at the end of the game, but can't see it. Just hope they don't score 4 or 5. Matt Stannard, the legend that he is, got his hoodie yesterday. Looks absolutely on point. You're looking fantastic. Afternoon, hardcore Pepsi Max. I think the Queen of Hearts has got something a little bit hardcore on the go at the moment. She'll obviously bring it in. It's a cider, I do believe. Anthony Steele. Hello, all. Despite us being poor beyond belief the other night, the defence did keep a clean sheet. So why drop 3 of them? Smacks of desperation to me. Well, absolutely. Stephen Parry, beep, beep. The podcast answer to Jimmy Bullard is in the chat. Welcome in. Lewis Snow, Chris Burton. I can see you all. Absolutely love it. Let's bring in some contributors. Before I do, if you are watching this on Facebook, obviously do give it a like, give it a heart even, and share it on your timelines. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't yet, please do hit the subscribe button and continue to help the channel in growing. We've grown really an exceptional rate over the last 30 days. So I thank you all ever so much for that. But if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button and let's bring in, of course, the Queen of Hearts. Tractor girl Amy, the Queen of Hearts. Welcome in. How you doing?
I love it. I finally got my own intro.
You certainly have. And once I find where that actually was, which show, you will have it in audio as well. That must have been like some sort of fluke the first time that I found that. I can't find it since. It's somewhere. But are you well?
Very well, thank you. I'm glad to be at the end of this ridiculous week. I suspect we've probably got another ridiculous week as Town fans coming up, but
absolutely.
At least we've got through this one now.
Matt Stannard's gone with the super chat. The question on everyone's lips is today when Lambert poster goes up in flames? Oh,
yes, we all want to know.
There you go. Joe, Matt, I absolutely love that. Thank you ever so much. It's an interesting lineup. We'll bring in first-time contributor, the legend that is Peter Cox. No intro for Peter, first-time show. You've got to get a few before you do. Let's get the team up, shall we, Peter? Because it's an interesting little lineup, right? We've gone for 7 changes. It's crazy, isn't it, really? I mean, where do we start? It's been a busy week. We'll start wherever you two want to start. Should we start with the back 4? Chambers, Enciala, Wilson and Kenlock?
Well, it's Lambert lottery in full effect here, isn't it, really? No doubt about it. Yeah, it's great. It's good to see Wilson back. I will say that.
Why?
That's only Mr. Lambert knows that.
I'm with you. I liked him earlier this season, but where the fuck has he come from? I just whispered on the wrong word there. I've already had a sip of cider. Where has he come from? Why is he in the team again?
And where
absolutely.
Has the other 2 gone as well? Wolfington and McGuinness.
Yeah.
He said Paddy McGuinness in.
Well, he might be better. He might be better at the back there.
At least he gives a laugh.
Absolutely. Look, Crunch has been calling for Willow on the podcast for a couple of weeks, or for a while. Big fan of him. When he's fit, you should put him back in. I don't know. Fuck knows what's going on anymore. I mean, I look at that team. I look at that. I've got no words to describe to actually defend a man. I try and be balanced for every single show, and I'm just running out of balance. What the fuck am I watching here? Right,
well, that's what we think every game now. We don't really think what the hell are we. As Adrian Durham said on TalkSport, we are unwatchable.
But we've got to watch them.
And we've got to watch them because They're here, bless them. Yeah.
So let's dig in deep and find a way. Toto, talk to me about Toto, because I'm a big fan of Toto. Money was spent on him. He's an investment the football club, in my opinion, has to really sort of persist with. It's almost, when you've bought a meal at a restaurant and it beats you, but you've bought it. So you're going to finish it, right? And I've had a lot of those. Toto's been like that. He's a defender we've bought. So I want to keep playing him to get a player out of him.
Yeah. I think he gets a lot more grief than he deserves sometimes, because the problem is when he makes a mistake, it is a colossal cock-up every time. But actually it's not, and he's not that bad. And when we were playing well for the brief month at the start of the season, it was him and Wilson, I believe, at the back, mostly, with Ward on one side and Chambers on the other. So I can kind of understand why it's those two. If you're playing your strongest team, I can kind of understand the argument for those two being there. What I can't understand is the flipping, where they come from now. That if they're the best for the team now, why weren't they on Tuesday? Why weren't they last weekend? Why weren't they before that?
It's desperation. Ben King, I love you. Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. You are an absolute legend. Thank you ever so much.
That's for me to have a Jaeger, I reckon.
Hey, we'll get the train going. Don't you worry. I think we might need it. Cruncher, Wilson, I'm a big fan, but has played no football since the 23rd of October. Dan Snell, great comment here from Dan, guys. Pick this one up. Lambert now picking 11 starters out for hat and admitting that the January loans are no better than what he already had at the club.
No shit, Sherlock.
So how much did he waste in that then? Because how much in loan fees, etc., have we wasted on Harrop and Thomas? Because if you've brought them in, you're saying they're better than what you've got, but where are they?
Yeah,
where are they? Bennett's is straight back in the team, not played in a while. I'm gone for a 4-2-3-1. I did start with a 4-4-2, but again, it's Lambert. Yeah,
I think how you've got it now is right.
Do you know what this sort of reminds me of? It reminds me of the Paul Hurst sort of Norwich team towards the end of his tenure, where it's almost like we're chucking the whole squad in playing cards up in the air, and the first 11 that lands first plays, and we'll find a way to play them. Bishop Friday saying he's playing for the manager. So what sort of game do you want out of Teddy today if he's playing for the gaffer, Pete?
Well, definitely a good one. Him to create, to do what is good. But I am tending to lean on what Mr. Cruncher said. Is he overrated? I want him to prove me wrong today.
Yeah.
Is he? No. Sorry, that's a bit harsh, but
no, not at all. No, I think you're entitled to that, Amy, because obviously, when was the last time you saw Teddy Bishop play really well, sort of boss the game?
I think the problem is at the minute, I think I said this to you the last time I came on to have a chat, is that I wouldn't pick on any particular individual player for not playing well at the moment, because it is terrible. They're not being played in the right formation. These guys, how many of them have played together recently, or even this season? Really, it's terrible. And I don't, if you were going into your job and the person next to you changed every time, it would affect you. And that's even more so if you're a footballer who has to learn where to pass the ball and all of that. Callie's in as well now.
Absolutely. Legend.
So I wouldn't like to pick anybody up individually, because actually possibly every single player in our team needs to prove themselves at the moment. Yeah,
I think they're all playing either for this manager, Peter, or certainly for the next one, because the next manager coming in will, you would have thought, have an idea on who he wants to play, what he wants to play, how he wants to play, and you've got to try and sort of change the opinion in some cases. You're playing for some reason. Everyone's playing for a reason, whether it's personal pride or otherwise. So what sort of scene displayed do you want to see today? What do you want to see from this match? Because every fan is divided. I speak to a fan and they say, oh, God, I want us to lose. I speak to another one, oh, God, I can't bear us losing. It's where are we on the divide?
No, I'm definitely in that. I don't want to see us losing every week. What I want today is the performance, because let's face it, Tuesday night was the game that we thought we needed at the time. We played a team who hasn't scored since Adam was a lad, and absolutely, and then they outplayed us. And today we're playing completely the opposite ends of the seesaw. These guys are in really form. They've only lost one in 8. And all the rest have been wins. They are absolutely smoking at the moment. Yeah,
they are. They really are. It's not the team you want to play, is it, Amy? When you're struggling.
Honestly, at the minute, I don't want to play any team. I
Nor
just want it all over.
Nor does Lambert.
I don't expect anything out of it, but there is a small part of me that is expecting us to go out and absolutely take the piss today and win like 4-0 or something ridiculous, just because it's just the way we do it. It's the kind of thing we would do, but
I'll come back to that
feel
point.
so hopeless. I actually feel for the players because they can't be going into this expecting much.
Okay, well,
they've got a job to do.
I'll come back to that point because I think it's a very good point, and I want to unpack that a little bit more. But first, let's get some comments before we start snowballing away from the chat, because I love how active it is at the moment. Really love it. Thank you so much, guys. Facebook user, Amy Downs for manager. I'm not sure I love that so much, but James Reed also...
We tried everything else. Why not try a woman in charge?
Oh, yeah, we say that. Yeah. The women's manager, Joe Sheeran, he has done a fantastic thing with the women's team. The groundwork, the foundation. Yeah. I'd be a big fan of that. Absolutely. Rob Purley, just the acts of a desperate manager. King Callie, Bish can get in the bin and take Northern Lambert with him. Facebook user. It's always Ben Adams. He's sitting here enjoying a pint of Lambert out. Now need a chaser of piss off Evans. It's only 14:43. Can we watch our language, please? Children might be watching this broadcast. It's only 23. I'm joking. Crack on. Skip intro. The only letter Chambers deserves is the P in P45. Stephen Parry. Nobody's bossing the game. It's not for picking one or two. They are all bad. Victoria, who will be joining us on the Thursday show in a couple of weeks. Can't wait for that.
Amazing.
How can they gel as a team when they've never played as a team? Very true. The Gov is counting the cash for all those super chats. My wife's just gone out shopping, actually. Funny you should say that. She saw the chat get active and went out shopping. Correlation, I don't know. No. It's a joke. It's a joke before the taxman starts up. Chris Rand, there's 5 attacking players in there. It's bold. I'll give him that, but very little cover for some rusty defenders. You mentioned there about if we went on a rampage and did beat Oxford. Chris Barton, I think Oxford will be too strong for us today. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. And my wife could do better than Lambert. So, Oxford are a team in form. If we beat Oxford, does that start to change the narrative a little bit on us beating teams in and around us, or teams on the rise, or top 10 opponents, or would you see it more as a Blackpool performance, a one-off? It's not something to really sort of hang your hat on.
A bit of both, really, for me. I think if we did beat Oxford, that would be some sort of monkey off our back. It will be a top side in form, but. But then, on the other hand, is it another papering over the cracks performance?
Yeah,
but I would take it. I would take another Blackpool performance today off Town.
Yeah,
I said today. I did a little video with the main man, the legend that is Alex Griffin this morning, and I said this morning, Lambert's a cat with 9 lives, and he's the sort of guy who would knock off 2 wins, and really just surprise everybody just to stick 2 fingers up. He's that sort of character that. He's met with Evans already yesterday, apparently. He's still in the job. He ain't won a game in how long? Still in the job. He's a cat with 9 lives, Amy. He just won't go away.
Do you know, it's funny you should say that, because when I was interviewed by BBC Sport this week, I was really grateful to them for getting in touch with me. The journalist and I were chatting about Lambert and our last few years, and he said basically exactly what you just said, and that Lambert will just pull a random win out of somewhere, and you'll think we're on a slide, and then that'll come, and it'll be like, oh, okay, maybe there are some green shoots, maybe we're being harsh. So for me, the problem with a win today would be that we need to build on that, whether there is Lambert here after today or after next week or whatever. We need to keep building on that, and that has been the problem. Blackpool was a really good performance by our standards at the moment, but we haven't built on it. And even if we've then gone on to play well but unluckily lost, you could still feel that bit of confidence. But every time we've followed a good performance with a completely lackluster one. And for me, that's been down to him shifting about with the team and the tactics and the subs being wrong and all of that. But I think that's the thing. You can't take a result today, whether it is a win or a defeat, you cannot take it as a good thing or a bad thing, because it's where we go from there. It would be nice if this is the starting point, though. If we win today and it's a decent performance for whoever the next manager is to build on, and I'm literally taking it as read that Lambert's on his way out, which he might not be, but something for the next person to build on and see. I mean, that team there, a lot of them you'd expect to see under the next manager. So it's their chance to start stating their claim on the next team, isn't it? So
yeah, and it's such
I
a
like
big.
the way you've got Chambers in little letters. Is that like Chambers' last game and all?
That was begrudgingly written. I wrote every time. I typed out every letter with a fuck's sake, fuck's sake, fuck's sake, fuck's sake. I started doing a mini vlog series, and I was writing it off for fuck's sake. Chambers, what's he done? But in all honesty, Pete, it's a big. I hope you don't mind me calling you Peter. Sorry. It's a big squad, and when you look at the 11 playing, you've got Teddy, who needs a big game. Andre needs a big game. Parrott is a player that needs to start performing for Tottenham to sit up or somebody else to take notice. Bennett's is the same. There's a lot of players in there, whether they like the manager, hate him, can't stand him. They need to play for a future in football next year, regardless of what club they're at.
Absolutely. Yeah. The two worrying points for me, of course, are Bennett and Wilson. Neither have played for a long while, and then they're up against this informed side. But I mean, there is, as you said, Bish, Dazelle, Norwood. I'll put in there. We need a big performance. We need them to show this is what we can do today.
Absolutely.
We really need it. And as you said, Parrott, he's been billed as the next Harry Kane. Well, let's see that today.
Well, this is it.
Say, in the interest of balance, I do like Judge and Norwood there. And from the little I've seen of Parrott, I would have thought that'd be good for him playing alongside him. That four there on the right-hand side of the screen, that gives me a tiny little bit of hope. It's just that it's backed up by Kenlock, which is clearly going to cause problems.
Yeah. He's played okay though, Kenlock, and
he's played okay as his comeback. Yeah,
he's a League One left back, and we're a League One team, and it's consistency that really hurts him. Our issue always stems from the fact we can't keep a clean sheet, and that starts with who we got in goal. For me, we score one goal more or less a game. I know last week was 0-0, but more or less we are a 1 goal a game team. We just concede one as well, which is why we never seem to win, because we can never find that second goal. We can never find that second, third, fourth gear. I'm reading, my guy on the ground is telling me that it's Judge out wide on the left and Parrott behind Norwood. So I don't know if that changes your opinion, Amy. But we've got a more important question in the chat, and it's what time is Amy's McDonald's being delivered today?
No, McDonald's, there's no big tasties anymore. So McDonald's gets boycotted for a little while until I get desperate for one.
There's Grand Big Macs at the minute. They're quickly nice, Amy.
No. They need to make. Well, no, I'm glad they don't. Thank God they don't make big tasties a permanent thing, because I have them about 3 times a week. It's ridiculous. So no big tasty, but in fact, you guys
with or without bacon,
takeaway to order.
With or without bacon, Amy.
Without, ruins
Definitely.
it.
What the hell is that all about? Bacon in burgers.
Sorry, what?
It's just that sauce is beautiful on its own. Do not ruin it with bacon.
No. You improve. Things get better with bacon.
Not burgers.
Like, the great Lord put bacon here so we could, when you've got a hangover and you wake up and you're feeling grotty and somebody's cooking bacon, that smell just revives you. It's like a magical potion. You can have about 100 Jaegers, but the Sunday morning, that bacon just brings you back to life. It's an amazing thing. Any truth, though, in Mike Brown's comment? Amy's more a Burger King woman, I'd say.
No. The only time I love a Burger King is if I'm on the way back from Suffolk or from Cornwall, and it's the only option. I will purposely drive past a service station if it's not McDonald's. Even if I'm absolutely starving, I will drive for another hour to make sure I get to a McDonald's. There's only one Ronald McDonald.
If you're watching this, McDonald's, give me a call. There's some opportunities here. Look, advertise here.
You won't get anybody speak more often and more highly of you.
Thursday show, Mike Brown was eating at McDonald's. We are telling into the podcast of McDonald's.
He's actually got the props there, hasn't he? Yeah.
He has, yeah. King Callie.
He's eating Nando's. Callie, that's a great shout.
Never had one.
You're missing out, Pete. Next time we're at Pullman Road, I'll take you for one, all right?
Ah,
it's a date.
I look forward to that. Rex Manning, what are you drinking, Amy? Yes, let's get some drink orders in. We've got Pete. What are you drinking first? Because I can see you just had it in your hand.
No, just the old Pepsi Max cherries for me.
Oh, very nice, Amy. Oh,
has to be done.
Mon ami.
It's not the same if it's not from the tap, though. Sadly.
Okay, here's a question for you, right? Completely off the topic. Fuck the football.
So we went on to fast food. Sorry.
When you go to the football, right? Because I'm thinking about back to my intro. Are you which burger van do you go to? And when you get there, are you a burger or a hot dog sort of person? So on the day I filmed that, I was obviously a hot dog person. But what are you two predominantly? I go to the one by what was the Churchman stand with the blue tarpaulin. He is an absolute legend, that guy. Makes a fantastic meal. How about you two?
Well, I'm a roll into the stadium at 5 minutes to 3 kind of person.
You're a Rob Davies. That's what he does.
Get as many beers in as you can and Jaegers before you. We're like okay, it's 20 to 3. Let's get one last round of Jaegers in and then run over the road to the ground. That's what we normally do. But traditionally, I would be when I used to go when I was younger. When I used to go with my dad when I was a season ticket holder, it used to be a hot dog at the stand, the burger stand outside the entrance to the co-op. Behind the kids, in front of the kids' playground. That's we always used to. We would drive over from Cambridge on a midweek night. I always think about midweek evenings, or on a Saturday, and we would always get a hot dog before the game.
Beautiful, Peter.
Well, me and my son Matty, who's I think he's streaming with Alex now, and it's very quiet upstairs. So the Cox family are really rocking YouTube. My son Matty, who's named after Matt Holland, Amy.
Love it.
Yeah, usually it has to be Burger King, but if we ever have had a burger, it's always the burger caravan, or what, it's more of a truck. He's evolved. The one near the Sir Alf stand. The one when you come out and you say, the one where you usually come out after a game, you say, clear him up. Yeah, he's trying to knock out his burgers, isn't he? Yeah.
Absolutely. We've got a Facebook user that goes to the same chap, lovely old boy. Lee Anderson goes to Of course, Lee does. Prezos, absolutely. All right, Lee, here's a question for you. How do you eat your pizza? Knife and fork, or do you just get stuck in with your hands?
Stuck in with my hands. What was this thing from Mark Heath this week about folding it?
Yeah, I do it on the knife and fork.
Oh,
folding
Mark.
Your pizza.
Of course you do.
I do. It's because I'm a fat so-and-so, and if I don't cut it up, I'll wolf one, and then I'll have to order another one because I'll be so hungry. My stomach and my throat haven't talked to each other. And no, it's true story. I've found if I start cutting my food and actually chewing it, I get fuller quicker. Facebook
saves the indigestion as well.
Yeah. Hot dog in Cobble Car Park. Go on.
When you're eating your burger or hot dog, whichever one you choose, and Megaphone Man walks past.
He's a legend. He's an absolute legend. He is. Yeah. When you think of Ipswich Town, you think of Bluey, Crazy, Sadly Evans, and the Megaphone Man. You know, that's not Ipswich. Callie, I like the one of the rolling pizza. Oh, okay, Callie. Callie, love you, Callie. Mike Brown, fold your pizza and stuff your face. Matt Stannard, question is egg on pizza. Always.
Amazing.
Always.
Egg on pizza.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like pineapple on pizza. That's wrong as well.
Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. Anthony Steele, mega dog from the guy outside the Sir Alf Ramsey. Ted Brown, does Lambert use a knife and fork to pick the team? No, he just puts them all in a hat, closes his eyes and goes.
He used a toothpick out of Buffy when you get the older cheese and pineapple.
4 minutes to kick off. Let's get our bold predictions. What we think is going to be happening this afternoon. Amy or Peter, one of you two, kick us off. Get active in the chat, guys. What are your bold score predictions for today?
Ladies first. Go on, Amy.
Oh, bless you. Thank you, Coxie. I think it's going to be absolutely absurd today, so I'm going with a 3-1. I think NCR is going to score, and I'm going to have one from Norwood and one from Judge.
Love it. George Hugg's gone 2-1. We've got Chris Burton saying harvest the breakfast for the game back in the day. Lee Anderson, this is great talking food, taking the pain away from the footy. Yeah, making me hungry though. There was one I just missed and I can't find it, but it doesn't really. I'll try and find it afterwards. 2-0 to Oxford. Chris Wardham. 4-1 Oxford says Mr. Positivity. Mike Brown. 5-0 Oxford. 6-0 Oxford from Luke Hume. Welcome in, Luke. Glad you could make it. Michael 2-1. Mark Dowling, who isn't watching the game, I don't believe, but hopefully going to join us throughout the afternoon. 4-1. Peter, how about yourself, my man?
Well, my head says we're going to lose, 2-3-0. But because I'm on here today and I'm on here with my heart, I'm going to say we are going to win 2-1.
2-1.
2-1 to the Town, yeah.
I love it. 3-0 says Michael. Brant is we used to watch my streaming back in the day when I was doing Football Manager videos. Welcome in, Brant. Ipswich fan, want us to lose. Quicker he gets it out, the better. Dennis says 3-1. Welcome in, Lee. I hope you're well. 3-1 says Facebook user. And there was a comment about Paul Lambert picking the team, but I can't find it, and it's annoying because it made me laugh inside, and I can't find it. It does not matter. I'm going to go with a 49 points. Says 3-0 Town, clean sheet, Holy penalty save, Norwood hat trick, job done. And
So Martin, just quickly, when we mentioned goalkeepers, who would you rank at Cornell or Holy? As the best?
I'd put the kit man in goal, quite frankly, but
I would put Bluey in goal, personally. Yeah.
Yeah, Megaphone man if he's free these days.
Well, he'd be good at talking to the back four, wouldn't he? Yeah.
Which actually is an underrated thing. I don't think we focus enough on the two goalies. They're both very quiet, and we often say about leaders in the team, and we think of leaders being outfield players. Richard Wright was a character that would organise, and if you ever watch Ipswich Town back in that period, you could see it. He was an organiser. He would talk. He would direct, and to an extent, not the greatest goalkeeper, but Andy Marshall had a great big job on him. He would never shut up. I don't think Holy and Cornell do enough communicating.
Bart used to as well. If I remember right, Bart was often
don't start Martin off.
Don't. Honestly, I only own one thing that's not Ipswich Town related, and that's a Bartosz Bidakowski. Curtis Yates made that for me.
That's better than that bloody Lambert poster.
Yeah, I know, but someone bought that for me, so beggars can't be choosers. Right, let's go. 1 minute to go off. So I'm saying a win. That's where I'm going. Carl Brooks, Neil Alexander needs to shut up either. We are back at halftime to
goalkeeper.
Absolutely. So gather some thoughts. So join us then. And then, of course, at full time, it's over to you guys to have your say. I hope you enjoyed this pre-game preview, but we'll see you at half time.
Come on, you Blues.
Jag minns hur den tid du gav mig life billar Nu vill jag kunna ge tillbaka allt jag inte kunna ge förut. Det finns ingen annan där som kan stå här by my side, oh why. Sättet du rör på det får mig att dö för dig baby. För de här yardis, de vill ju bara dra ner oss. Men du är fett och vanlig. Och det jag lägger av min tid och jag vill ha dig. Du får mig känna safety. Vi kan nog leda baby. Och jag kommer aldrig ändra